right, so this is topic 12.5. So today we did 12.5 and 12.5 homework because this lesson is not long. So your homework is due to me tomorrow at 8 o'clock. All right, so binomial means two terms. So we only have two terms here. We looked on Friday. Some of you liked having that placeholder of 0x. It's a placeholder. So my sum was 0x. My product was negative 36x squared. Should have started with there was nothing I could pull out of that. So I'm going to list my products. Remember, one of them has to be negative. I don't know which one yet will be negative, so I usually make the first term negative. Some of you wait till the end. I don't like that because I'm afraid I'll forget my negative. But of course, I don't care your method of doing it as long as it works for you. So this one had a lot of factors that could make 36x squared. So I'm looking for what will give me 0. And negative 6 and positive 6 will give me 0. So go to my box. Some of you use a little bit different method because you learned a different method, which is fine. My initial, this lead term, or my first term, is going to go in the first box. My last term goes in the last box. I'm going to pull out what I can here. I can pull out a 2 and an x. Here I can pull out a negative 3. Here I can pull out a 2x again. And here I can pull out the 3. 2x times 2x is 4x squared. Negative 3 times 2x is negative 6. 2x times 3 is 6x. 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. So those are my two terms. So I have 2x minus 3 and 2x plus 3. Now we talked in class about these are very similar to each other, and we're going to see if that creates, has something to do with our pattern we're going to look at today with our lesson. Number 2, same thing. I'm not going to put the placeholder. If you want to, that's okay. I just know that that sum, that middle number, is going to be 0x. My product is going to be negative 25x squared. So negative 1x times 25x. 2 can't go in, 3 can't go in, 4 can't go in, but 5 can, and that's where it stops. Negative 5x and positive 5x gives me my negative 25x. So it goes in negative 5x and 5x. My initial term, my first term, that's lead term is what the proper name for it is. So x and negative 5, x and 5. So x minus 5, x plus 5. Again, our answer is our two products are very similar to each other. And so we're going to see that there is a pattern in that. All right? So let's look. When we have two binomials, also known as the difference of two squares, they call it dots. Difference means there has to be a subtraction. So I have to have a subtraction sign in this spot. 2, it has to be a binomial. I can only have two factors there. I can't have more than 2. And each term is a perfect square. So in this case, 4 is a perfect square. 9 is a perfect, well, 4x squared is a perfect square. And 9 is a perfect square. And here, x squared, because x times x is a perfect square. And 25 is a perfect square. 5 times 5. So this is called difference of two squares, or difference of squares. It is on your mathematics chart. So we're going to kind of follow this. We're going to look at this. Okay? Zoom out a little bit. So, looking at number 3. Do I have subtraction? Yes. Is it a binomial? Yes. 1, 2. Are both of my terms perfect squares? Yes. So I can use my dots, my difference of two squares. So I'm going to take these two, and so I'm going to take the a squared, and what is the square root of a squared? A. So it's the square root of 9x squared. Square root of 9 is 3. Square root of x squared is x. 1's going to be a subtraction, 1's going to be an addition. Square root of 25 is 5. And we're done. That's it for that one. It only works, though, when it is a difference and it's a binomial and they're both perfect squares. So let's look at number 4. Do I have anything I can pull out? No, not that I can think of. 1, 2, no. 3 can't go on to 16. 4 can't go on to 81. 5, no. 6, no. 7, 8, no. So there's nothing I can pull out of this one. It is subtraction. It is binomials. And it is a perfect square. So, square root of 16 is 4. Square root of x squared is x. 1 will be subtraction, 1 will be addition. Square root of 81 is 9. Oops, sorry. So I want you to try number 5 by yourself. So I want you to push pause and push play after you've tried number 5. And we'll go over it. Alright, so hopefully you tried this by yourself. The square root of, well, let's start with, is it subtraction? Yes. Is it binomial? Yes. Is it two perfect squares? Yes. So the square root of x squared is x. 1's a subtraction, 1's an addition. Square root of 100 is 10. All right, let's look at the next one. This one's a little bit different. And the reason why is we always need to pull out first. Like we need to pull out what we can first. So I need to think, what can I pull out of each of these? So in class today, someone said 2. And if you'd worked out 2, you would have been left with, and I'm going to write it lightly because I'm going to erase it. But then I can see, wait, there's still a 2 I could have pulled out from this. So 2 wasn't my greatest common factor. My greatest common factor is 4. All right, so I'm going to have a 4 up front. All right, so I have subtraction, good. I have a binomial here, good. And they're both perfect squares. So square root of 4x squared is, 16x squared is 4x. 1's a subtraction, 1's an addition. Square root of 9 is 3. And the reason we need 1 to be an addition and 1 to be a subtraction, because we need this to equal a negative, and only a positive times a negative will give me that. All right, so let's flip to the back. So this takes us back to, okay, so let's look at this one. This takes us back to what we've been learning. But this is a trinomial. It's got 3 in it, so it's a trinomial. So I can't use my difference of squares. So we're going to go ahead and solve it like normal. So I want you to go ahead and solve this one like normal. Push pause. And I want you to push play after you have finished it. All right, so hopefully you pulled out your 3 here. My sum is negative 13x. My product is negative 30x squared. So negative 1x and 30x. Negative 2x and 15x. Negative 3x and 10x. Negative 6x. Well, 5 and negative 6. Sorry, skipped the 5. Now in class I told y'all I just give the first number my negative so that I don't forget it. But it doesn't always work out that way. And I look, this is close. 15 and negative 2 gives me a positive 13. So if I move this negative over here, so I just need one of them to be negative, it works out. Everyone has their own little system for that. Some of you like to just ignore the negative to the end. I don't like to do that because I'm really bad at forgetting it. My initial term, my last term. So here I can pull out an x. Here I can pull out a 2. Here I can pull out an x. Here I can pull out a negative 15. Let's double check it. X times X. Yep. 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 I always like to check mine. Don't forget that leading 3 up there. I have some of you who are forgetting that. And there we go. Number 8. It is a trinomial. There are 3. It wants to know what are the products. What are the factors whose product will yield that. That is just a fancy way of saying what are my factors. Okay? So this is a work like the last one. So go ahead and I want you to pause this video, work this one, and push play when you're done. All right, so I could have pulled out a 4. It's still a trinomial, so I can't use my squares. So I just need to do, not these kind of squares. I can still use these. I can't use my perfect squares. Sorry. So I have my sum, 11x, my product, negative 6x squared. So negative 1x times 6x, negative 2x times 3x. And that's it. But if I notice, none of these are going to give me 11, even if I move my negatives over. So this one is already in its simplified. That's as far as it can go. It's not going to go in 8. So here are my 2 factors. All right, let's look at number 9. I'm going to get you started on 9, and I'm going to let you finish it up by yourself. So which one is a factor? So I've got 4 options. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out my 2 here. And hopefully you recognize that this is a binomial, it is subtraction, and they're both perfect squares. So I want you to pause the video, finish this one out, and then see which one matches it. Alright, so hopefully you worked it out, and you hopefully saw, okay, well this is going to be an x and an x, 1 subtraction, 1's addition, and that's going to be 7 and 7. So one of the factors is C. All right. Number 10, I'm not going to lie. Number 10 caught the whole class, including myself, off guard today. Okay, so lucky y'all are getting me on the second time around, and I won't be tricked this time. So let's look. I'm going to pull out what I can. And hopefully you said, whoa, it's a binomial. Awesome, it's a binomial. But it is not fill out all of my criteria. So if you think of dots, so it is my difference. Is this a subtraction? No. So I cannot use dots. Okay? I can't use my difference of the squares because like this one had the subtraction. This one did not. So I can go ahead and look at it if I want to. My sum is 0x. My product is 4x squared. And there's going to be nothing that can give me a 0 because I need one of them to be a positive and one to be a negative. This gives me 4. This gives me 5. Now I could switch both of these to a negative. That will still give me 4x squared. But then a negative 2x times plus a negative 2x is still negative 4, and I need 0. So this one is as far as it can go also. Tricky, tricky, tricky. All right. Let's do the last one. A trim carpenter needs to apply crown molding around a rectangular window. The area of the window is shown. So I have an area. Find the perimeter. And our goal is to find perimeter. So I'm going to remind myself what perimeter is. It's 2 of the lengths plus 2 of the width. So what I need to figure out perimeter is my length and my width. Well, if I remember, my area is length times width. So all I need to figure out is what times what will give me x squared plus 5x minus 6. So I'm going to do my factors. So my sum is 5x. My product is negative 6x squared. So negative 1x and 6x, negative 2x and 3x. That's all. either of those give me 5. Give me 5. Yes, negative 1x and 5x. I can see why some of you might choose this one, but remember, negative 2 plus 3 is a positive 1. So I'm going to come and make my boxes. My first one is negative 1x and 6x. My lead term was x squared. My last term. So from here, we should be good, I hope. So my two terms is x minus 1 and x plus 6. Does it matter which one's my length and width? No. So I'm just going to pick. Okay. So now I'll come back to my perimeter. Perimeter equals 2 of those lengths plus 2 of those widths. Use my distributive property. Sorry if you can hear noise. I'm making this video during class, and because that you can sometimes hear classes next door. And that is as far as we're going to be able to go on that one. All right, so that's lesson 12.5. So on Tuesday, by 8, I need assignment 12.5. It can be sent email, Teams, or text message. I don't care. Any of those ways are great. If you have any questions, please send them my way.